What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, the Towering Inferno, the former unified WBC WBO junior middleweight world champion, Sebastian Fundora, 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. Sebastian Fundora stands 6'6" with an 80-inch arm reach. He just beat Keith Thurman in dominating fashion March 28th, and Sebastian Fundora stopped Keith Thurman in the 6th round. Sebastian Fundora, his promoter, his manager, Samson Lickowicz, let the world know they had no interest in fighting anybody outside of the Premier Boxing Champions after the fight was over and they was asked about unifications and such. Sebastian Fundora now comes out and just flats out lied to the boxing world, okay? And he quotes to the boxing world, "I'm chopping down anybody who steps up to beat me, to fight me and compete against me. I'm building a legacy." And then he says this, "I will fight against the undefeated WBC interim title contender, Mexican superstar boxer Vergil Ortiz Jr. on the All-Mexican card in September on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez." Now, we know that is simply not the case, and it's not true. Sebastian Fundora's manager, Samson Lickowicz, told the world that Sebastian Fundora and Vergil Ortiz wasn't happening because Vergil Ortiz, for one, is having legal issues with his own promoter and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. And then he stated that they on the wrong side of the street anyway. If it's not with Amazon Prime, they have no interest. And Oscar just signed a new contract with DAZN, right? So he let the world know he's not interested. But Sebastian Fundora is trying to convince the world he'll fight Vergil on this card, which would be a great fight. But the truth of the matter is, Sebastian Fundora is waiting for the retirement fight to be over. That's scheduled to take place in July, but Tszyu, the former WBO junior middleweight world champion who Sebastian Fundora beat twice and beat him for his belt, Tszyu is going to fight the former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, now junior middleweight title contender, Earl the True Spence Jr., superstar boxer, who should be a Hall of Famer once he retires, with a record of 28 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. I think Errol Spence is going to stop Tszyu in the retirement fight. The loser of this fight is going to retire. It's over. Errol Spence hasn't fought in 3 years. If he loses to Tszyu, it's over for Errol Spence. If Tszyu loses to Errol Spence after getting dominated, obliterated by Bakram Mataliev, knocked out in the second fight by Sebastian Fundora, lost the first fight to Sebastian Fundora, and then loses to Errol Spence, his career is over. So this is the retirement fight. We all know that the Premier Boxing Champions, better known as the PBC, is looking for Errol Spence to win this fight against Tszyu, and then match Errol Spence up against Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora, his team, since he beat Tszyu and Terrence Crawford after he beat Errol Spence, was trying to fight Sebastian Fundora. They was telling the world the bigger fight was Errol Spence, then coming off a loss to Terrence Crawford. Now imagine Errol Spence comes back and his resurgence, stops Tszyu, looks great. What you think is going to happen? We're going to see Errol Spence versus Sebastian Fundora at AT&T Stadium. That's the goal. So Sebastian Fundora trying to convince the fans that he's willing to fight Vergil in September is just a flat-out lie. He's going to fight Errol Spence in the wintertime, around the November time, point blank and period. If not, early 2027. So why is he trying to sell us these pipe dreams? I'm tired of the fighters and the promoters and everybody involved in the sport of boxing trying to sell fighters pipe dreams, knowing they have other plans. Point blank and period. They need to garner as much return on investment for PBC as possible because they don't have a budget. He's trying to sell us that he's going to fight Vergil in a cross motion as Canelo is promoting the fight on Canelo's card with Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, in a cross promotion fight. Stop it. And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.